What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back to part 2 of our Eric Maclain, episode. We're so gracious to have him. On episode 1, we talked about the ACC and kind of the pulse, if you will, of the ACC. And in this episode, we're going to talk NC State football because we got the man himself right here to talk it with us. We're going to do some breakdowns, not talk too much because he's got an episode that he teased on his podcast. So make sure you go watch that when it comes out here real soon. But Eric, again, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, excited to dive into the Pac-Man. And again, I got to talk about the background. So I moved my screen a little bit and, it adjusts like everything. So now I can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
I see all the helmets back there. Do you have the guy? I call it the slobbering wolf. I don't know what they called it.
So they made that mini helmet, and I missed the release by this much. Yeah, so no. I got a guy.
What is it called? What's the actual?
It's the slobbering wolf. You got it.
Oh, it is. Okay,
you nailed it.
Yeah. Perfect. There you go.
Yeah,
that's the best, man. That was
the best.
Sweet helmet when they released
you guys were
that.
actually there for that game.
We were. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was USF. Yeah, I got a guy that's actually going to make me one, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
There you go.
My wife doesn't know how much it's going to cost, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so as always, you were in Charlotte last week covering the ACC kickoff. And before we dive into state, I kind of wanted to talk, I think, was it yesterday or Monday? My days run long. The ACC media released their preseason rankings. And I kind of just want to get your thoughts. Was there any teams that were a little too high, a little too low? I have one thought because people seem to be really bullish on Louisville, and the ACC media said not today. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, you're not going to want to hear this, but I thought y'all were high. I thought you guys were really high, just with some question marks of is Brennan going to be the Brennan of 21 or the Brennan of 22? Yeah. The run game not having been existent, to be honest, for the last couple of years, even though you have these great offensive line and great offensive linemen, and
we're going to talk about them.
Honestly, great running backs, right? Like it's been really weird how the running game just hasn't been existent. So I had some questions. I think the defense is going to be better than a lot of people maybe think, just because you lost so many unbelievable pieces. But guys are there waiting in the wings, and now it's their turn, and they've got some good experience. So seeing NC State at 4th was I was like, okay, I can dig it. God, who else was up there? Duke was a little low for me. I think Duke's going to be really good.
I think they were tied for 6th.
I think they may be a little bit better than that. Wake Forest, I think, was 9th maybe.
They're always sneaky.
They're sneaky, right? And they've got really good receivers. They're going to be solid. Miami, I'm glad
I heard you on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad
that's Mario about the offensive line. He had you hooked there for a second.
He did, man. I got to see it in person. I'm glad I'm going there. So I'll be able to have some good intel on that when I go down there and see them. And then Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was pretty high too. They actually might have been 9th. I had them like 13th. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be too good. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I always love these rankings, man, because there's always like one or two wild cards where you're just like, what? Like, how did we get to that?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah. I was surprised to see us at 4.
I was a little bit.
And we're talking about Duke. I think they will be good, but their schedule is just so tough.
Yeah,
they play 7 out of the top 8 teams since that poll came out, except Miami. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was high. I think they were tied for 6th with Pitt.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little high for them, just based on their schedule. I think they'll be a good team, but their schedule is just crazy.
I got them at 4, so look out. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? I know you don't have them winning opening night against your Tigers, right?
Dadgummit, you're right. I do not.
That would be a start.
Yeah.
That's right.
So anyway, speaking of like you said, like I said, you were at ACC Media last week. You had all the full panel there, and you had the NC State delegate kind of come through. Just kind of give me your thoughts on the guys that you talked to. Obviously, for anyone that didn't know, it was Brennan Armstrong, Peyton Wilson, and Aiden White, and of course Coach Dorn. But just kind of, I know what you guys talked about, but just kind of give me your thoughts.
Yeah, well, first of all, it was very strange seeing Brennan in Wolfpack gear, and he comes up there and does the wolf, and I'm like, that was weird. And he was like, yeah, but it feels good. It feels good. And I was like, come on, man, I dig it. And he's jacked up to be in the city. He even said when we were talking to him, he said, I think I could like live here. He really has enjoyed being in Raleigh, and just seeing him is great. I think he's gonna really do some good stuff this year, especially being back with Coach and I. in that offense. I'm interested to see what does it look like, because it was so unique in Virginia and just the things they had to do, quite frankly, to be in games. Then you get to Syracuse, you have a little bit better chess pieces and weapons that you can be very specific with, and then just seeing how does that translate to NC State here. So that was cool hearing his kind of thoughts on that, and being familiar and why he chose NC State. That as soon as he saw Coach and I go, it was immediate interest, to rejoin him down in Raleigh. Peyton looked awesome. I mean, God, I pray for that dude once a week that he can just stay healthy and just he's such a great player and honestly plays too hard, right? Like he
every
goes
time
so
he wraps
hard.
up, I'm like, is he getting up?
Right.
Is he intact?
Yeah. Like
he's
he's so aggressive. Man. His body just can't handle it, man. He's just he's too much of a monster out there.
Yeah.
So I hope he can stay healthy and really just lead the way for that Pack defense. And then Aiden White, man, he was a lot bigger than I anticipated. Tall, long guy. Man, I think he has a chance to be really, really special. I have him as my number one corner in the ACC, and I think he's going to continue to deliver and build on that.
Gotcha. So speaking of your number ones, you did your top 5 quarterbacks, and you had obviously Drake May. I think you had Leonard Riley there.
Yep, he was at third.
I think you had so Van Dyke was 5th.
Yeah,
and then 4th you had Cade. Klubnik.
And then 2, Jordan Travis.
Thank you. I was trying to work through that through muscle memory. Brain's not as strong as it used to be.
That's right. But, I get it.
So obviously you kind of mentioned, Brennan, if he's Brennan of 2021, does he move up on that top 5? Is he a top 5 quarterback if he's Brennan of 2021?
100%. I mean, shoot, he might move up top 2. I mean, if he's playing to that level. I mean, he was exceptional that year and all the things that he did, even running the football. I mean, he was literally Mr. Do It All, for Virginia that year. I mean, throwing for 4,500 yards, 30-plus touchdowns, just doing everything, for his team. So easily, I think he can get there. It's just, will it happen? Can he? Can he? Right. He has some good receivers at Virginia when he did that.
And he only played in 11 games that year because he got hurt in one.
How much crazier could it have been?
Yeah. So and that's we don't need Brennan to be that 100% of 2021, and I don't think he will be just because that defense was so bad they were playing from behind. But if we can get
that's right
60, 65%, maybe 70% of that 2021 Brennan Armstrong, that'll be a really good offense. I think.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think if he's throwing for over 3,500 yards and there's a run attack, rushing attack, you're feeling really good about what this offense did.
For sure. So you kind of mentioned that maybe he didn't have he won't have the same type of weapons that he had at UVA, and State has definitely gone out to the portal and addressed some of those with getting him some good targets. One of those was a gentleman that from your old stopping grounds, Dakari Collins. So can you just kind of give us a flavor of what maybe NC State is getting and what fans can expect from him, because he's one of those guys that was kind of flying under the radar with Clemson, and obviously felt that he needed to transfer because of some of that stuff. Right.
I mean, just a big guy, freaky athlete. Obviously, I mean, if Clemson's recruiting or offering a wide receiver, like, he's a good player.
Sure.
That's just kind of in their DNA and what they've been able to do. And I don't know if it was just a fresh start. I'm not sure why, he felt the portal was the best thing for him. But, again, a great athlete. I think if he really locks in and focuses, the sky's the limit. He can be a great wide receiver. So it'll be interesting with that unit, just, who steps up. Lassane did so many great things, and I think we'll probably end up being, wide receiver 1 because, man, you're having to replace so much production, right? Like, I almost wish those guys had another year – and you get those guys with Brennan, then look out. Like, who knows what the heck can happen, with Devin and Thayer there. But, those guys have to step up. And Timmons and Rooks, and hopefully we kind of mentioned this in the previous episode, but Trent Pennick stays healthy. And how much can they use Jordan Houston in the passing game? So there's certainly options, but it's more so of these guys have to prove it this year. They've got to really emerge and demonstrate that they can be, dudes.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flightland's Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need. Offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
All right, so now I want to kind of get to your favorite part of the football game or football is the offensive line.
Yeah.
I know you love your offensive line play, having been very successful at it, and we have the new coordinator, like you said, with Anai, and we have a new O-line coach and Coach 2J.
Yep.
And we've had a history of producing NFL talent. If you talk to a lot of NC State fans, that's maybe one of the areas of concern is the offensive line. And you kind of mentioned it earlier about, maybe our run game hasn't been as strong for whatever reason, whether that's play calling, schematically,
right,
whatever. But just kind of maybe just talk to us about the offensive line and maybe kind of walk people off the ledge for that being a concern.
Well, I would have been able to really dive into it and tell you in a couple of days when I go visit NC State.
Sure.
I think your tackles are good. I mean, I think that they're super solid and obviously have some great experience and playing time there. Replacing Grant is going to be tough, just the leader that he was. And I know he got injured last year, so you've had some time to kind of see what it would look like. But I do think that this unit, if they commit to it, to running the football, can be great. I mean, when you look at just scheme and what coach has done in the past, it's obviously pass heavy, but when they do run the ball, it's been effective. So, having a mobile quarterback like Brennan certainly helps, kind of helps alleviate and disguise or hide some issues that you may have. So just getting those tackles out in space, letting that unit get together and really figure it out will certainly be key early and often.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Absolutely. I mean, like having a running quarterback, you just, or at least the threat to run is just almost a must-have in today's game. I mean, as good as Leary was, and when he was on, he was a top 3 quarterback in the ACC. He was never truly a threat to run. So it's like when we're running those RPOs, I mean, the defense can just kind of sag off him and not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
So I think just having that threat of a running quarterback will help the run game. Yeah. On top of just a different scheme and
and I mean, he's proven that he can do it. I mean, he's not afraid to take off and run. I think he was the leading rusher in that 21 year as well, Brennan Armstrong for UVA. So he can do it, man. You just hope that Jordan and Michael Allen, some of these guys, you hope they continue to step up and just be a really good presence where he doesn't have to, but he can. It's kind of one of those things where his hand isn't forced. But when they're not expecting it, he can take off and really make it happen.
Yeah, and then I kind of want to flip on the other side of the ball. I mean, everyone's been making a lot of hubbub about NC State's offense because of all the new changes, obviously, with Brennan and Anai. And there's that solid top 10, 15 defense sitting on the other side of the ball that, people just kind of are, I wouldn't say dismissing, but because the points that you brought up earlier, because you lost a lot of key pieces. But I heard you talking about on your podcast about the defensive line and how that can be, a plus, if you will. Just kind of talk about that. What we can expect, because we got a lot of good key pieces returning.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And when you just look at what coach wants to do over there, I mean, it's not really, it's not built for defensive linemen, right? It's made for them to, hey, clog up space, take on blockers, let our linebackers and safeties eat. Like that's what we've seen. But, I look at a guy like Davin Vann, who I think can have a really big year, freaky athlete that, is right there close on the verge. The secondary I feel really good about, and I know you lost a bunch of key pieces there, but when I look at Battle and White, I mean that's 2 of the better guys in the league and maybe even in the country. I mean they're that talented and that good. Then you're going to see some linebackers. You'll hear from Coach on my podcast. I'm not going to speak for him. I'm going to let you listen to it. He's excited about this linebacking core, and he's excited for some of these guys to finally get their opportunity. And it's a double-edged sword when you have guys that are injured, because yes, it stinks and you don't have your star players, but kind of a silver lining of that is younger guys had to step up and play and get that great experience, and now it's their turn. So coach feels good about the linebacking core, and I do too, man. That's why I really can't wait. Most of the time I stay on the offensive side, and I'll probably do a majority of that. But I'll be looking at the linebacking core because they have just such great leaders that they're having to replace. At least two of them, Peyton obviously back. But just to see who steps up as the alpha along with Peyton to really make that thing go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
One thing we don't get to do often on Tuffy Talk is talk to players that played for other teams. And obviously we've talked about your time at Clemson. What I kind of want to know, and I'm kind of wearing the shirt, so I kind of wanted to talk about it, Carter-Finley Stadium, right? And the atmosphere of Carter-Finley. And I just want to kind of get your thoughts because what is it like as a visiting player to come into Carter-Finley? Because it's one of those, we're under 60,000, but we sound like 80,000 or maybe even more than that. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on coming and doing a road game at Carter-Finley.
You can look this up for the last however many years that I've not been playing. And I have said multiple times on record that Carter-Finley is not a place you want to be. It is tough. It is rowdy. Your fans get after it. They like their beverages.
Guilty.
And they're rowdy, man. And it's a great environment, great college football environment. I believe that I played there on Halloween night, and it was bizarre. And we had that, y'all won't like this, but that phantom out of bounds that happened on a long touchdown that probably saved the day for us.
That one.
I remember that one.
And then I think my senior year, we went there as well. And it's just loud, man. It's a great place. Passionate fans. Love all the additions and changes that have been made, renovations. It's tremendous. When that thing goes all red, it's sick,
hype,
man. Especially when the guys are either in all red or in all black. It just looks really cool. So it's one of my favorite. I'm not just saying that because I'm on this podcast. I've said this many, many times. Love coming to Raleigh. Love coming to Carter-Finley, and they pack it up, man. They juice it up.
Yeah.
And the new scoreboard and
I'm excited
system
to see it.
will take it up another notch.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
we're trying to compete with Clemson with scoreboard size.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I'm excited. That scoreboard needed to be replaced. It was pretty bad. But
it was on its last leg, dude. It was when we were last there. It was pretty rough. It was pretty rough
for sure. All right, so we've kind of talked about some, we got all the housekeeping, if you will, out of the way and talking about NC State and the ACC. Kind of want to have a little bit of fun for the last kind of 5, 10, 15 minutes that we have you here. This might be a little sore subject, but I just want to know, did you ever get your Krispy Kreme donuts from Coach Dorn?
Yes.
I remember he presented them to you guys, but did you get your fair share?
No,
and you lost, but you kind of won?
No, I didn't lose. We won. It's so funny. I love that you bring that up. It's so funny because and the producer that did that to us, by the way, is coming. So if he comes back to Raleigh, you guys can beat him up. So he is just crazy and does the weirdest stuff. And so he presented the option. The question was, will NC State win more games? Because y'all were coming off of what? 2 wins, 3 wins?
It was a rough season. We had a lot of injuries that year.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody was available. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So 2 or 3 wins, whatever it was. Correct me with the number later. So the question was, would NC State win more games, or would there be more huddle, talent, however you phrase it, that could complete the Krispy Kreme challenge, which is very difficult, by the way.
Yeah, it's not.
We all said NC State will have more wins, which is more than 4. So we were on your side. But some little jackwagon took a screenshot of it and tried to make fun of us. So that was hilarious. So I never got the donuts because he did it virtually, like through a screen.
Right.
Yeah.
But he did give me that little daggum solo cup after y'all beat us.
We always wonder what happened to it.
I need to have it built out. I have it. It's in
awesome.
my house.
Okay.
I need to get it in my desk, but signed and ready. That honestly, man, that was one of the best TV moments I've ever been a part of. It was so raw. There was so much joy in his heart, not mine. And he was just so juiced up, for that game, and rightfully so. And he's celebrating, having a cigar and a nice little drink. I assume it was Gatorade, probably.
Probably so.
Course.
Yeah, knowing Coach, he's definitely the Gatorade.
Powerade. Are you guys a Gatorade or Powerade school?
I think we're Powerade. Yeah,
all right, he was Powerade.
It was Powerade. Yeah. That was a crazy game. I had like 50 people at my tailgate,
That's
and
awesome.
that was like one of the first times I've ever jump the field. Well, I actually walked down the field that game. Later on in the season, I broke my leg jumping on the field. But
oh my God.
yeah, it really happened. It really happened.
You gotta know your limits, man. You gotta know your limits.
I do need to know my limits. But anyway, so all right, so that's fair. But if I ever get the chance to meet you, I'll make sure I have donuts for you.
No, we need to do that. Whenever we come to Raleigh, y'all need to do a big for us. We'll come over there. We'll come over there.
For sure.
Get lots of Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. So speaking of eating, you're an offensive lineman. You like to get your eat on. I mean, if I would have, I did play. I was a tight end in high school.
Hey, me too, man.
Very limited. I know you were. I read your story that the one knucklehead wouldn't rate you as a tight end, but
that's right.
we won't go there. See, I do my research.
That's right, my man.
Anyway, so you like to cook, and I love looking at your IG, all the pictures, and I'm a smoking guy too myself. I throw down. So I saw that you had that BLT sandwich the other day, and I wanted to give you a pro tip. You need to make your own bacon.
Oh, I like that.
Make your own bacon, and that you'll take that BLT
to another level.
Yeah, we'll get that Ingles plug here for you.
That's right, my man.
The tomato look good, but you can elevate that bad boy.
The bacon is a must, man. That was quick, man. That was just, we were in the store, we had to grab the bacon quick and get it going. But yeah, some nice thick bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm drooling over here.
I got a meat slicer. I make my own bacon and
there we go.
Yeah. We're not playing around. I love that. So, all right. The last fun question before we get you off here, and again, Eric, we really appreciate you.
No doubt.
All right. So again, from going back to your IG, I've seen the spatchcock turkey. I've seen the pork butts. I've seen the brisket.
Right.
I've seen lots of meat. What's your favorite one to make? Like, what do you enjoy the most? If I had to come to a Eric shindig on a Saturday, what are you smoking?
Man, it's hard to pick, right? It's like your kids,
right?
You feel really good about.
But you only have one of those, so it's a little easier.
That's right, my man. If I'm trying to impress people, if we, trying to do something big, I've got to do ribs. I mean, not to toot my own horn,
no,
but I can smoke up some ribs, man. It's so fun. It's a long process though, and I'll tell you this too. I'm gonna tell you the negative part. If you mess it up, you are devastated because it's literally your whole day and you eat it and you're like, this sucks. This is the worst thing I've ever made. But when it's good, it is so worth it, man. And, it's interesting too, different techniques. Some people like it, when you pick it up and it just falls right off. I'm kind of in between. I like it to sit there.
A little give.
When I bite it,
it
comes right off.
Yeah,
comes right off.
We've gotten close to perfecting that, and if I want to press you, I'm gonna do some big ribs. I'm gonna do some ribs.
And I guess the follow-on question: I saw you putting some Chick-fil-A sauce. Like, what was that? What was that? Was it Chick-fil-A sauce? Like,
it was Chick-fil-A. I used that as the binder.
Right, of course. Yeah, I usually use mustard, but is that a game changer?
Oh yeah, it is crazy.
That's
it's
a
so
smart
good.
move. I never thought about that.
It's really good, man. And I'll tell you one more kind of trick that I learned just kind of watching is I do the 3-2-1, and in between the 2 and 1, you have it wrapped up. You got the butter and the honey and all that stuff. I take it out of that and then I put it back on for 15 minutes because you want it to kind of dry up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you put the sauce on and put it back on for an hour, 45 minutes, whatever you want to do there. So that was a game changer for me.
Okay, I got another game changer. All right, so
hold on. Let me get my notepad out.
Yeah.
Hold on. Give it to me. Come on.
So you talked honey.
Yeah.
Mike's Hot Honey.
Oh, sure.
Give a little kick. I don't know if you know about Mike's Hot Honey.
Yeah,
some people don't know about that.
It's Mike's, but I do have a hot honey.
Yeah, there's a couple different brands out there.
It's from somewhere in Charleston. It's so good.
Okay.
So good.
Okay, so you already, you know what? What am I even doing? What am I even doing?
I appreciate it.
What am I even doing?
I appreciate it.
If we can call you EMAC, EMAC, thank you so much for your time. Again, just throw all your socials out there where people can find you, because I'm telling you right now, if they're not following you on Instagram, because I just went through 10 minutes of the EMAC menu.
Really.
You're a good follow, man. I like it. Yeah,
I try to mix it up, man. There's a little bit of baby content in there, some trips content, some food, some football. It's all on there, man. Just Eric Maclain anywhere you want it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course the Graham and Maclain podcast. You guys got to check it out. Big episode coming up with Dave Doran, and we preview the pack and just all season long, man. We'll be hitting it. So appreciate you guys for having me. This was so much fun. And look forward to seeing you when we come to Raleighwood. We're going to make this happen.
Hey, the tailgate's always open for you, man.
That's right. We'll have some more Rock'em socks for you too. We're going to load you up.
Don't tease me with a good time.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
All right, Wolfpack Nation, again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we really appreciate it. Again, if you're not following us on Twitter, you can find us at Tuffy Talk Now. You already know us, find us here on YouTube because you're watching this. So just make sure you're subscribing, liking, hitting that bell. We got lots of great content coming out. I mean, we got this guy. I mean, we can only go down from here. So this is the pinnacle. But anyway, EMAC, thank you so much. And as always, Wolfpack Nation, go Pack.